Hello, good evening, Zambia. Chwempala time is 21:30 hours. Here in Calgary, we are 12:30 p.m. My name is Elias Munsha, and I'm coming you live from Calgary, Alberta, from my home office. And the reason is because I'm under quarantine. Now, they're calling it quarantine, but it's really self-isolation. I travel to Zambia, you come back to Canada, you've got to be self-isolated for 14 days. So this is day what? Day 5. So I have like 10 more days remaining. No, day 4. So I have about 10 more days remaining to my self-isolation. And so we're going to be coming live and discussing a few things here. But the last video we made, the video was pretty bad. It was pathetic. And I think I have tried to cure it today. So if the video is still not good enough, please let me know, because what's the use of coming live and then you have pathetic video? No, it will be terrible. So I shouldn't subject you to pathetic video. We need excellent video, and we are going to demand it of ourselves, right? So please let me know whether this video is good. If it's good, it means what we've done today, we've got to do it again, right? And not what we did the last time. And the whole reason is in my home office, it's in the basement. So maybe there are some issues with the network. Anyway, I will not be in my office until 10 days. That's when I'll go to my office, because as you know, I've got to be here. So I hope you understand. I like the office better, I think. Better lighting, better everything. But anyway, we are here coming live to you from Calgary, Alberta. And we have a lot to talk about. So the first thing is, and how is the sound? So video is good, how is the sound? Otherwise, we'll get right to business. The first thing that I would like to deal with here today is my meeting with President Hakainde Hichilema at his home. Now, I did visit with President Hichilema at his home on Thursday last week, on the very day that I came that I left Zambia. So he was kind enough. Was that Thursday or Wednesday? No, that was Wednesday. So Wednesday last week, in the morning, right before I started off from Lusaka to come to Canada. He was kind enough to accommodate me. He's a busy, extremely busy man. And so I was quite happy that he accommodated me. And I visited his sprawling compound, wonderful, wonderful house. He calls it community house because he says this house belongs to the people of Zambia. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful home. I arrived there slightly before 10 because my appointment it was I can see some comments. I'm going relax. I'm going to go to the comments at a later time. Please let me just explain myself, okay? So I arrived slightly before 10 because my appointment was around 10. Now, apparently there was some commotion going on in Southern Province. So President Hichilema needed to attend to those issues, and so he came. I was very well welcomed. I was welcomed very well inside the compound. A wonderful, wonderful house. I think the whole feeling is like you are in the village, really. I think that's the kind of feel that he wanted. You know, you are in the woods, you are in the bushes, and then suddenly there is this magnificent mansion that he calls the community home. So it was quite interesting. Very wonderful background. It was green all over, very green, bush kind of feel to it. And so it was quite interesting, to say the least. Of course, in the age of COVID, you had to mask up and things like that. Anyway, we got there. A few minutes afterwards, the president came, and I was meeting him for the first time. Now, I've never met President Hakainde Hichilema. I don't even know him. But anyway, He walked up to me, and we started off our. You begin with some small talk. I think my first impressions of him was, wow, this guy, he looked busy, of course. He told me that he had just been dealing with some issues in Southern Province. Apparently, President Lungu was in Southern Province just a week after President Hichilema was actually in Southern Province. And so, but there was some issues in Monze or Choma. Some people were trying to cause confusion and everything else. So he told me that he was attending to that issue. And so we got to discuss small talk, of course. I tried to introduce myself, right? Because you have to introduce yourself. How can you just see President Hichilema? You've got to introduce yourself. So I told him, my name is Elias Munsha, and he said, I know you, I follow you a lot, I'm one of your fans. Now, that's definitely very humbling, because some of the things we do, particularly as bloggers, as vloggers, as writers, you never know exactly the effect of what you are dealing with. You don't even know who listens to what you are saying. And so it was very interesting for the president. It was very humbling to me for President Hichilema to say, oh, okay, I know you, from the Copper Belt, we would say, Nakumonai. I know you. I follow you, and I'm one of your fans, and I listen. So that was quite interesting. Because one of the first things that started my advocacy for Mr. Hichilema was when he was incarcerated on trumped-up treason charges a few years ago. I was younger then, and so we went live and we did a little bit of work there, trying to pump some sense into the Zambian state that what they were doing in imprisoning Mr. Hichilema had no basis on law, in law, or in fact. It was all trumped up, made up. And so we couldn't just, let it pass and say that it's okay for the state to continue persecuting and prosecuting an innocent man for treason when he had not committed treason. So that, I think, was my first involvement. And I was not a full-blown lawyer then, I think. I was a student, what we call a student at law. That was my status at that time. I had not yet been called to the bar. But of course, our passion for our country and for the rule of law starts very early and started at that time. And so it was very humbling for him to say that he was aware of the kind of work that we have been engaged in. He's very aware of the diaspora as well. He calls the diaspora as Zambia's province. And so it is very interesting for him to acknowledge that, in that the diaspora is Zambia's 11th province. That is very, very significant. I think when I met him, it showed that he is a leader who was aware of what it means not only to be in the diaspora, but the value that the diaspora can add to the country by recognizing that the diaspora indeed is Zambia's 11th province. And so perhaps I'm going to ask him to change the UPND logo, because it has 10 corners, right? 10 sides. They need to include one more side, which is the diaspora province, right? For them to demonstrate that they really mean very good for us in the diaspora. Of course, being a family man, he asked me about my family, and coincidentally, President Hichilema has 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter. I also have 3 children, 2 sons and 1 daughter, except that for President Hichilema, the daughter is the eldest. For me, my daughter is the youngest. So it was all those little details that were quite interesting. Of course, one of the things I think that has left a huge trauma on President Hichilema is that incarceration. That was pretty pathetic, because I think it still has left a lot of trauma on him. The way they handled him, the way they treated him in jail. They took him to a cell where there was fresh human feces at Delay, and they mistreated him basically, and that can leave trauma on a person. So I think that has really shaped him. It has shaped his outlook, in my opinion. And so he did mention about that, and so that is what happened. Of course, I did explain to him how my journey was coming to Zambia to register as a voter, and of course he told me to vote wisely, which is pretty remarkable, right? That's what he said. Vote wisely. That's what he said. He said, vote wisely, right? He did not force me into saying, oh no, do this and that. No, I told him I came to register as a voter, and he told me to vote wisely. I, of course, explained to him a little bit about my family. I told him about my spouse, our children. And then I also told him about my journey, basically how I moved from Lusaka on that visit. We drove to Samfia for the Luapula Expo marathon that I did. Coincidentally, President Lungu was also running in that marathon. Anyway, but so I told President Hichilema about that. I also told him that I then drove from Samfia to Milenge in our village, right? Milenge. So I told him a little bit about the people of Milenge. I did not meet a lot of my relatives in Milenge because I was there for just a few hours, basically. I just wanted to have lunch in Milenge on the 28th of November. So I went, had lunch in Milenge at El Nathan Lodge. Refreshed for a little bit, had lunch there, and then off we went to Mansa, and then from Mansa we went to the Copper Belt, and I arrived in Chuempala. So I did tell him about Chuempala. I did tell him about my family. I did tell him about my aunt and several other cousins. And I also told him a little bit of information I gathered on the ground about what is going on in Chingola, and Chuempala specifically. The fact that, people are very curious about the United Party for National Development. Anyway, and so our meeting was not going to be long. He asked about when I was leaving, and I told him I was leaving that afternoon, and he told me, you need to be on the plane, goodbye, and it was great. And then we took the pictures, okay? And because we are both social media enthusiasts, we needed to take very good picture, because a very good picture is important. So we tried some selfies. They were not very good. They were not very nice, right? For some reason, they were not very nice because was it the lighting or anything like that? And so we had to take pictures as we were walking in his compound, which were shared with some of our friends, and then our friends also shared them on social media. I have not yet shared them myself, but you don't just go sharing, no. So we shared them with some of our friends who then uploaded them on social media. But they were excellent pictures. They're not the ones for walking. I'm walking with President Hakainde Hichilema, who could as well be the next president of the Republic of Zambia. Wasn't that wonderful? It was great. Of course, after those pictures were published by our friends, my friends, then somebody created a story, created a false story, completely made up, about that Mr. Hichilema had asked me to talk about the eligibility of President Lungu and things like that. All that is a total fabrication. President Hichilema did not promise me any job at all. President Hichilema affirmed the role that the diaspora plays in Zambia. He thought that we are quite important and significant players to the Zambian economy. He recognizes our sacrifice, he recognizes our work, he recognizes us as Zambia's 11th province, and for specifically the work that I do and the advocacy that I've done, he recognized it and said that, yes, he was aware of what we have done, be it in fighting against Bill 10 and advocating for the rule of law and advocating for the gentleman himself, because we did that, right? We've been advocating for the gentleman himself. We have attacked tribalism. I have attacked tribalism, and I have tried to educate our people about Bill 10. And the issue of Bill 10 continues to this day, unfortunately. It continues to this day. And so President Hichilema did recognize that. Did he give me a job of anything? No, he did not give me any job, okay? But I think it was a wonderful meeting. He told me that he's a Christian, and I told him, yes, I'm a Pentecostal as well. And then, of course, I told him a little bit about us Pentecostals. But it was already too late, because he does have close Pentecostals in the UPND itself. And he specifically mentioned Pastor Kangwa Chireshe, who is a very close UPND operative and is also a Pentecostal preacher. So the UPND is not strange to Pentecostals. They've been part of the party itself. But I just wanted to mention to him that, yes, I'm a Pentecostal, and he told me about his work as well in church as an elder for the Seventh-day Adventists, Chimpempe. He's an elder in the Chimpempe church, which was quite remarkable. And I think that is the diversity that we've been advocating for in Zambia: the respect for tribes, the respect for languages, the respect for diversity in colors, and the respect for diversity in churches. Very important. Respect for church and religious diversity. That's why when my Pentecostal colleagues wanted to turn Zambia into a Pentecostal country using Bill 10, I said no. I said, you can't do that. You can't make Zambia into a Pentecostal country or turn Zambia into a church. It's not. Zambia is a republic. You can't bring confusion or mulomo into turning Zambia into a Pentecostal country. The reason is we have different churches. This reminds me of one of the remarkable things I experienced in Kabwe. The New Apostolic Church. Now, most of us do not know. In Zambia, the New Apostolic Church is Zambia's second largest denomination. 1.3 million members, second largest. So the largest denomination in Zambia is the Roman Catholic, Catholic, Roma. The second largest is the New Apostolic Church at about 1.3 million people. 1.3. And then, of course, the SDA is there as well at 1 million members, or if not just slightly over 1 million. And so I asked this New Apostolic, I told them, why aren't you talkative? I think the guys found it very strange. I was like, you guys are 1.3 million. If we might just be 300,000. I don't know. How many are we if If we don't even deal with numbers, so we don't really know how many we are. If we are maybe we are 100,000. So I was like, how come you, New Apostolic Church, you don't make a lot of noise. You are quiet. Why? Why don't you make as much noise as we do as Pentes? And then, of course, the New Apostolic Church, those members, they told me, no, we don't do it. There was a conference somewhere at that Kabwe Hotel. Is that the Kabwe Hotel, the big Kabwe Hotel, the new one? And they said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar and to God what belongs to God. Anyway, that is the spirit in which I argued as far as Bill 10 was concerned. Let us leave the religious diversity of our country. Zambia is already a Christian nation. We shouldn't exaggerate things by making it into a Pentecostal country. And so it was quite remarkable from President Hichilema and his adherence to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. That is our diversity as a country, and we need to respect it. Okay? So when Bill 10 said that we are going to be ruled by Christian morality and Christian ethics, I objected. I said, no. Because there isn't one Christian ethic in Zambia. We have several Christian ethics, different ones. A lot of different ones. Chimpempe, they've got their own. Now, if we're Pente, we've got our own. So why should you say that? Which Christian morality are you going to regard here? Chimpempe, they say, at the day of worship is what? Saturday. Everybody Chimpempe land. So no bang Christian ethics. Christian ethics yabo Saturday. In Christian ethics, what is the next Christian ethics? Inkumba tabadia. At munkumba mwaliba satana. Eva chimpempe munkumba mwaliba satana. But it does not end there. Now, even the pots that you use, we pick it up mwenkumba, it's also unclean. Now, a Christian ethics, we need to respect that. Number buten wanted ukuleto mungulo no mulomo. You know, okay, but no, we are going to have this Christian ethics here. No, okay. Hello, and then we also have Vachitawala, Jehovah's Witnesses. They are Zambians as well, you know. So if we are sometimes we think that if we never Zambia, you know, I don't know where we get this Pentecostal political theology, which is, I call it an arrogant theology. I call it Pentecostal political theology is arrogant. In Zambia, it's extremely arrogant because it excludes others. It excludes others. It does not respect the other. It thinks that belonging to the kingdom of God is the same as belonging to the Republic of Zambia. It does not create a distinction between the kingdom of God and the Republic. The Pentecostal theology, or the Pentecostal political theology, thinks that President Lungu is a pastor of a church known as Zambia. No, the president is not a pastor. The president is a president. Okay, he's a father of the nation only in terms of ceremonial and symbolic sense. He does not become a father of the nation in the literal sense. No. Okay, so those are some of the things that we need to deal with. Anyway, so that is it about my meeting with President Hakainde Hichilema and how it went. So that story about President Hichilema offering me a job is false, and I denounce it. I renounce it. It is a lie. It's fake news. Ayi lelo Hichilema nango anyone ngabateka elo balanda tiyo who am I to say no? Untash. If something like that happened, who am I? But I told him about the people of Chwempala. I told him about the struggles of my people in Chwempala, in Chingola, and he's very aware. You know, even during our meeting, after explaining to him all this, he came back to me and told me about. He even mentioned the places, Milenge and Chwempala. Milenge and Chwempala. And he said that his party is for all Zambians. That's it. That is what happened. So now I can't see all the comments. So let me see. Now you're going to see here that there are some Trump supporters. So some Trump supporters. So one of the things that I try to do, because I'm a lawyer and I'm a teacher, I'm just a teacher. I'm a very humble teacher from Chwempala. I try to teach. Now, it's not only Zambians. So our advocacy is not just limited to Zambia. It's across the world. If there is a matter that concerns us, we are going to be there to advocate. So you're going to see a lot of Trump supporters here. They've been on my case because they think that I'm the one who made Trump to lose. No. So they come here and they insult me and everything. So you're going to see that you're going to see some of their comments. Just ignore them. Okay. I can see your wrinkles. So that's excellent. Okay. Wonderful video, better video, and things like that. So that is it briefly about my meeting with President Hichilema. Does anyone have a question about my meeting? Simvula Boyd, it seems like here in Zambia there is no network. That's why you couldn't go online when you were here in Zambia. And now you're in Canada where network is plenty. I can see you are now online. Or could it be you are a coward or you are playing a game for your own benefits? No, I couldn't be online in Zambia partly. You could be, actually, you know, Boyd, you are saying some very important matters here. And what you are essentially saying is, I couldn't be online in Zambia because I'm a coward. And I've always been saying that the real heroes are the people that are in Zambia and they're advocating for the rule of law right from there, under threat of a very brutal regime. Those are the true heroes. Okay? I've never hidden that fact. people like Laura Miti, Pilato, the people who just by having a meeting, they get arrested and they get thrown into jail. Those are the true heroes. But we also have a role to play to try to bring visibility to issues, to educate and things like that. So, so if you say that we are cowards through that, that's fine. But the job that we have done for our country is going to be remembered, and it's going to be recognized. And so I was very surprised to see that President Hichilema recognized the kind of contribution we have made to our beautiful country. So Boyd, you can call it cowardice or whatever you might want to call it. I'm okay. I am not at all trying to create anything that or make ourselves become what we are not. Our work over the years is there for everybody to see. And if I said that even the President of the Republic has no idea of what we do, no, he does have an idea of what we do. The Patriotic Front higher up operatives, they know about what we do. Did the president know that I was in Zambia? Of course, he probably knew. I was running in Zambia, in the Zambia Marathon with him, right? Did the Zambian state security apparatus know? Of course they did. It's useless cadres that did not know, but the Zambian state apparatus, of course it knew. I was in Zambia running alongside the president, of course. He did 10 kilometers, I did 21.1 kilometers. And the reason why we do that, some people were asking me, why did I go to Zambia when I knew that there were several Kelenkas, the people that I call Kelenkas, they were running in that marathon. So what? They can kill the body, but so Simvula Boyd, you can continue believing like that. Right? Yeah. So if you don't know change, take which the chite yo, kotontonkanya. Obongo. If you Boyd, if you call the Obongo, Quishira, win. Thank you. Person Mudenda, the video and sound is great. Watching from Livingston. Thank you very much. Okay. We appreciate what you did in response about Western Sahara, and it belongs to Sahara people. Yeah, I think the people of Western Sahara should be given the right to self-determination. The era of colonialism is over, and the people of Western Sahara should be free to advocate for their interests. Morocco should not impose itself on the people of Western Sahara. Why should it? So President Trump did it because he's selfish. As long as somebody recognizes Israel and kills the people of Western Sahara, Donald Trump is willing to forgo all that. No. There is a spirit of self-determination that each and every people are entitled to, and the people of Western Sahara are entitled to the spirit of freedom. At least they need to be consulted. Bana Chiuta, is it true that HH promised you justice ministry? Come 2041. 2041, eh? No. He didn't. Have you met President Edith Nawakwi? No. I have not met President Edith Nawakwi. Kwena, nishakwate shuko sana, ili yako kumanya wa Edith Nawakwi. Nkesha ako limbi. Haim. Nomba nifinji tukalala ndapona wa Edith Nawakwi. I endorsed her in the last elections. In 2016, I endorsed Edith Nawakwi. Mwana mwandi nishakwate shuko with the people that I endorsed. I endorsed Edith Nawakwi in the last elections. It was pathetic. So no, I'm not. Come and join us in the New Heritage Party. You want me in? John, didn't the president resign from the party? Okay, I don't know what the conversation that is going on here. Kuwa wa fete muipule 2022. Oh, who? Who know that somebody? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, that's the issue of politics. People should be able to aspire for leadership, and people should be free to aspire. Kindly use President General and President. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, President General. Yeah. Mr. Elias, Mr. Munsha, you do not know how to lie. Too much gestures as you tell lies. As a lawyer, you do know better about this. We clearly know you are UPND, incoming Minister of Justice, Ichalo H. Sorry, what are you talking about? Of course, sometimes ama gestures they distract. I should be steady. Gushipa. Not too cool. You're throwing your hands in the air. Video so wakana sana. Elias, whatever your name is. What transpired? Whether I was given a position? I've said no. It's all lies. Why would President Hichilema give me a position? For what? Tedipo, it was total fabrication. Yes. Yeah, it was all a total fabrication. Rainbow Party. Okay. There are so many options. Okay. So that's it on President Hichilema. I've clarified that. Now the next one is what is happening in Congo and President Nevas Mumba. The issue of Congo are extremely sensitive at the moment because the Congolese like fighting. They're people of war all the time. So now they've started. We need to pray for them. We need to pray for Katanga. We need to pray for the people of Congo because you know, something might erupt there very, very quickly, and it might escalate. And so it was pretty concerning that was the time that President, Dr. Nevas Mumba visited. Pretty sad that a few things coincided with his visit when the Congo itself is going through a very difficult political issues in Congo. A lot of political things. For those that might need a little bit of history, President Kabila, in the previous elections, he installed a puppet president, in short, right? In the elections, the one who won is known as Martin Fayulu, was the winner of the presidential election, but Kabila manipulated the electoral process to make Felix Tshisekedi the winner. It was a very interesting way of doing things, you know, and we all were wondering whether that model was going to hold up or not. And so at least 2 years into the thing, that particular coalition that Kabila created is now beginning to crumble. To give you an idea, he had his MPs mostly make a coalition with Felix Tshisekedi's UDPS party, the party that was founded by his father, Etienne Tshisekedi. Etienne Tshisekedi. So Etienne Tshisekedi was the founder of the UDPS party, and so the son Felix Tshisekedi became the president afterwards. But Kabila manipulated the election to make Felix Tshisekedi a leader, and while wielding the real power. That's what Kabila wanted to do. But I think they are undergoing several changes where Tshisekedi now is trying to assert himself as a president, assert himself as the real leader, and try to run away and escape the cramps of President Joseph Kabila. That's where the issue is. And so it happens that coincidentally, Vice President Nevas Mumba was in Lubumbashi at the same time. Which is slightly concerning, but he was there anyway. He's also a preacher and he has several other business interests. We can't stop him, and he cannot be stopped. So maybe he went to preach. I don't know, right? But I need to say this, at the same time that he was going to Lubumbashi, I was also at Kasumbalesa visiting my relatives, because some of my relatives live in Lubumbashi. Okay, they do. Okay, so I traveled to Kasumbalesa to visit, to meet them at the border town, to visit them, my young brother and my young sister. Yeah, and so I understand that was the time that President Mumba was also going to Lubumbashi. I did not get to see him, but I understand that that was the same time he was going to Lubumbashi. And so, well, he's been restricted now, and so we will wait. I hope he's safe and comes back on Zambian soil as soon as possible. But the Zambian state needs to act very quickly to secure his freedom and his release so that he comes back. There are several dynamics at work here. You know, Katumbi, Moses Katumbi, Moise Chapwe Katumbi, or Katumbi Chapwe, he was part of the Kabila coalition a few years ago. He then became anti-Kabila, and now it appears like he is siding with President Tshisekedi in this dispute that Tshisekedi has with Kabila. And so the interesting thing is that the Zambian state appears to be on the side of Moses Katumbi. And so if the Zambian state is on the side of Moses Katumbi, it's very likely that they have taken no keen interest in securing the release of our former vice president. Now, anywhere in the world where another country is holding a former vice president, it should trigger national security concerns. Dr. Nevas Mumba is not an ordinary citizen and you just say no, you ignore it. It's a national security issue, and the Zambian state must prioritize it as a national security issue. Why should the Congo be holding our former vice president? It doesn't matter that he's an opposition leader. He's a former vice president of the Republic of Zambia. That is the thing. He's a former vice president of Zambia. As a former vice president of Zambia, he's wherever he is, it is an issue of national security. Right? This idea of him not receiving consular support while he's in Lubumbashi is nonsense. We cannot tolerate it. This idea of no interest from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we refuse it. Okay? How can we be under a government that has absolutely no concern for national security, our national security as a country? And now Nevas Mumba is left alone to the dogs. Left alone. Why? Because he's an opposition leader. No, President Lungu should take keen interest in this matter. The Minister of Home Affairs should take, for both Home Affairs and Foreign Affairs, they should take keen interest in this matter and secure his release, for goodness sake. There is time to play politics, but there is time to go for issues of national security, important issues of national security. That's what it is. So to the extent that President Lungu is silent about it, Minister of Home Affairs is silent about it, we are asking them to actively look into this matter so that they return the former vice president back on Zambian soil. Was it a miscalculation? It might have. It does not matter whatever the issue was that made him appear in Lubumbashi. The thing is, he's now in trouble. It's a matter of national security. Bring him back, secure his release, speak to Katumbi. If it means speaking to Katumbi, please do. The Zambian government can speak to Katumbi. This idea that no, it's a very sensitive matter. It's a sensitive matter. What kind of sensitive matter is it? It's not a sensitive matter. It's a straightforward matter. Just speak to the Congolese authorities to release the former vice president of Zambia. It's simple. And this idea of it's not complicated. When Kabila was in power in Congo, We hosted Katumbi. We hosted Katumbi. In fact, Katumbi came to Zambia during the Congolese elections, right at Kasumbalesa. We, the people of Zambia and our government, we provided security for Katumbi. Some people even say that Katumbi does have a Zambian diplomatic passport. We took sides then. This idea that this is a very sensitive matter and we need to deal with it with kid clubs or whatever it is. Is it kid clubs? What do you call it? No. During the Katumbi Kabila confusion, we took a side and we hosted Katumbi. We in fact, when Katumbi wanted to cross over into Congo from exile 2 years ago, it was at Kasumbalesa where the Congolese authorities said that they could not let him into Katanga. They couldn't. But he was on the Zambian side and we provided him with security. We've taken a side. How can the Zambian state now say that they can take a side with the confusion that is going on in Lubumbashi and our former vice president? Peter Mlopa is saying that Congolese release Mumba. Okay. Right. This is wonderful. This is good news. Thank you. But Dave Mwila, thank you for letting me know that they've released them. You know? Next time you act swiftly as the Zambian state. You do not wait. Because it's a matter of national security. You cannot be holding our former vice president. Mulandu. Allah, why should the Congolese make it difficult? No. Never smumbas the rights. He's free to do that. Nomba aya tandara kokatanga baikata. Elo imwe Zambian president and Zambian authorities mwaikala ndui, no consular visits at yom kwaifika is over kui. It's an issue of national security. You secure his release as soon as possible. You deal with politics when he's back on soil. As long as he's outside there, he's a former vice president of our country, former number 2. Now we understand he's back in Zambia, Chancellor Machia, which is pretty good. Kuba soka nangu ni rumor. Of course, born facing ando. Imom mwana kwa coach session. If ilete fyongo nenkondo, ma rumors. So kanshkumfu afe rumor tibai katoko. Already you issue a very strongly worded statement. But you touch our former vice president, you've touched everyone. No, but you don't do politics at Yom Kwai because he's an opposition leader. He's a former vice president of the republic. Simon Mlenga, Mumba loves Congo. He was fired because of Congo issue. You remember the Congo thing, eh? Yeah, it was very, very tough. Yeah, he was fired because of the Congo issue. It was pretty interesting, eh? Yeah, he was fired because of Congo, eh? But what we need to do is go sensitive and swift in our actions. What else have they done to him? Because if you are vice president, imagine if Congo arrests a former vice president, you know what? It can have access to some secrets. Because Congo rule of law. There's no rule of law. Rule of law, eh? They can torture him at Utueve. Where are the nuclear weapons? Bamutocha. No. A former vice president of Zambia is national security. It's because I'm an epela. You know, I'm a flag everywhere. Lungu. Na tukampenga. Na ukubutuka. Tabutuka eka. Atika kariaka marathon. Abutuka na. Bantushanje wakampenga. You know, a lot of people around it. Na kumwana ine shamu. Shamu wena. Na re mwana fe findu fitari around him. ama none. Former Vice President Vaikata Kukongwa silent. Silent for what? Piram Banda, I'm surprised Mwisho can make such a conclusion without of his arrest. What if he committed a crime quiz? Your citizen angwachita commit crime. Ngare kukakata. That's what happened even Bushiri in Malawi. Imagine Malawi akachalwa kanono. Akachalwa kanono ka Malawi. Ka Malawi akachalwa kanono. Akachalwa ka chabe akanono. Malawi. When Bushiri escaped Abutuka from South Africa, Abutukira ku Malawi, the first reaction from the Malawian authorities is to protect every child. Of course, he will be extradited, of course. Bushiri is being extradited to South Africa. There is no question about it, unless he does another escape. Otherwise, Malawi will send Bushiri back to South Africa. Mark my words. However, Chitaland mu Malawi, but Malawi, why share South Africa to say, forget it. This is our citizen. And this is our citizen. We are studying the matter. After we've studied the matter, that's when we'll give you an answer. The Foreign Affairs was being asked to say, how did Bushiri enter Malawi? The Foreign Affairs Minister told off the South African press. The issue here is, how did Bushiri leave South Africa? Don't ask us how he entered Malawi. He's a citizen. How did he leave South Africa? To protect your citizens. Who commander-in-chief? Nabu president, Nabu father of the nation. Ushabu father of the nation can fear you are what is father of the nation? What does it mean, father of the nation? You protect Nevas Mumba. Nangunalu fianya ku Congo wa muimini na koebero yumuntu wesu. Former vice president. That's what it means. Ebu father of the nation. Very clear and unambiguous. Not that your diplomacy kui. When in Rwanda, some of you forget the story. When in Rwanda, that Rwandan madman, I don't even know him, a rebel leader, implicated Lungu. I defended Lungu. I say different thing Rwanda fiabofi. The reason why I defended him is because, it's a matter of national security. Kagame is the one who made up all those things if you're Rwanda fiabofi. I defended Lungu. There is time to defend your country and to defend the integrity of your country. Evecha. Namba kushipa. Ebuka teka. Mwanawasa said if he does not regret to say that. The Congo thing, Wafia. We'll leave it. We'll leave it for another day. Okay? We'll leave it for another day. It's an embarrassment. If it was America, I would have only heard about it. She's already back in the country. Mondin. That's what should be done. That's what it means. Number no mwenso. Why? Weka teka kaidi. Uleteka no mwenso. Uletina bagongole. And Rwandans. When there is a rumor in Rwanda, wati na watumama ministers janjani, whatever namazamiza, don't talk about it. No. When you hear anything like that, Rwanda, mwaba soka. At Rwanda, don't you ever mention President Lungu again. Mwika lumbula polungu. You don't even say diplomacy. Diplomacy for what? Why are they mentioned? Then it's not diplomacy to mention Lungu. It's diplomacy when you respond. No. You tell all these little countries like Rwanda, na Malawi, and Congo, Kubasoka, don't ever do this to our country. Don't ever do this to our country. Which means if they can do this to Mumba, who are they going to do it? To Kavindele? Everybody who served. Even low-ranking officers in Zambia, they are all important. You need to protect them. Now, master, primary school, you need to protect him. You need to protect them. district commissioners, AMA ministers. You need to protect them. A foreign country cannot just be arresting your former officials. No. Allah. How can they, where do they even get the courage from to do that? At you, what was he doing in Congo? Teta diteva bulu wakwe ababemba abakukongo abena katumbi nabambi ababemba teta batandarireko abena katanga abululu jesu teta batandarire. Why not? Elo is a preacher. Kutaya mukutandarira ko bapente abakukongo. He can do that. Why can't he do it? If the Congo wants to go to war, tabafiro kubepesha Zambia, Zambia irengere yo nicho tabomfuana abene ba Congolais. Tabomfuana abene ba Congolais tabomfuana veka tubepesha ati yo mkwaini Zambia kui everywhere for. That's the kind of crisis they wanted to create, and it's never Smumba who is colluding with Kabila to create confusion. No, please. Imwebene ba Congolais echo kanshi imwe ba Congolais bakasai imwe ba Congolais na miebako. Just be reasonable. Aiwa manwa ya war all the time. War, confusion, tribalism, and everything else. Muleke. Muleke. Just if you want your country, just be straightforward. During the election, in Kabila Chitre manipulate for Tshisekedi. Some people were very clear. You can't tolerate this. You can't allow this. What happened? Some people supported it and things like that. No, but it has come back to bite them. No, but babepeshe Zambia, Zambia yalenga. Babepeshe nevas mumbeo baturi kirate walenga. No. But if kuliko some people that need our help, Mukukongo, why not? Why can't Zambia help? Zambia kutiafu ilisha. Bamo. Like the historic role we've been playing throughout. Nakabira win the way he beat Mobutu. Zambia may have been involved somewhere. Because there is no way Kabila had access from the east, Kugoma kulia, ukuisa kulubumbashi, without Karut, akakupita mu Zambia, you know. So we know we definitely have a role as a country. No mate role yakobati, you know, they arrest your person, nomba, tamulanjirepo, no. So we need peace in Congo. All this confusion, fileke pantuba blulu shesuna ifo bare tulefo abale umfa kwa manone, you know. Not all the time in Congo, all the time in Congo, Congo, the whole time. Why? Ngachiti punshi. We want to uproot that chitipo, you know. That's why arrest never smumba shima people. Why muikata shima people? It's pathetic. Jiagao at Bamunshenga forensic mwa mire kukolwezi. Inshalande. I want. Expecting Lungu to act is like expecting Trump to say congratulations. Oh, Kasamba, point of correction, Sabakasai, it's a tribal. Oh, of course, I know. Nsekesha kofinga na itabe abakongole at Bakasai. I play on old Zambian stereotypes. When I call Bonze, I'm just playing on old Zambian stereotypes. No, the Kasai is in fact, that is not the tribe, that is the region, the Kasai region, which has now been demarcated into several states. In those days, we only had two. We had West Kasai and East Kasai provinces. Kasai Oriental, is my French okay? And Kasai Occidental. Two Kasai provinces with several other diverse tribes within it. Okay. But the Kasai definitely, it's mainly referring to the Luba Kasai. Okay, where most of the Bemba people came from, the Luba Lunda Empire. Okay, that's the one, the Luba Kasai. But there is also another Luba in Katanga. They are known as the Luba Katanga. okay? Lubakat, Lubakatanga, and the Lubakasai. Yeah. So no. When I say Kasai, I'm just playing on old Zambian stereotypes. The kind of difficulty that some of the people from Luapula were experiencing. My generation, during our time. Okulanda French was a crime. It was terrible. That have relatives across the road, it was pathetic. And so let me say something about these so-called foreign voters that are coming. If you are an opposition and you are being told that they are foreigners that are registering as voters, no, they are not foreigners. Those are Zambians. So all those are Zambians. The Malawans that are registering in where Katete or Chadiza or whatever it is, those Malawans crossing the hills, coming to register as voters, they are Zambian. What you need to do, you as the opposition, kuya kumalawi, to campaign from there. The same applies to Bakasai Abareisa, which they register as voters, whether in Luapula or on the Copper Belt. You as opposition, you need to come up with a plan of how you're going to campaign among them. They are Zambian. How are you going to prove that you're Tevena Zambian? Kumirenge. I said Kumirenge. Just at the Milenge Civic Center, Pagamana Kadia, Luapula. Half of Luapula belongs to Zambia. The other half belongs to Congo. Babululu Shesu, they crisscross, intermarriages and everything else. Awakubaushi na balala. Na ifuokufwebaushi in Milenge. We are one people. So number ngalakuti romwaushi from the other side. Achta cross kutuwaishibashan because appearance fimofine. Tumone ififine tumoneka ku Zambia na babululu shesu on the other side bamoneka fimofine. There is no difference. You can't tell. Okay, Dimbi ngalanda omfwako kaleka French accent a little bit. But citizenship has nothing to do with accent. So I'm fake a little bit of French number. That is for very people that are used to French. Otherwise, you can't tell. So ngarakti rachita cross into Milenge. Alanda at Mwina Zambia. Kutu alanda shan. At yote udi Mwina Zambia. I chatted a little bit with some officers in Milenge this time I went. They told me it's difficult. Even when you know for a fact that you have Minepe Shiria, if they're brought by village headman, Tala inangulunga, nanguchisensa, basa reto muntu ati you mwina Zambia mlembe sheni NRC. How are you going to object? So you also mulomo wakobati wakongole na bengira to register as voters, they are Zambians. As long as baushi aba border pali abaushi, they are Zambians. If you want to win, just go and campaign. Kwango malala na kuka kelo. Ain imomwebe na Milenge. Kwango malala na kuka kelo. Konsa kule ni Zambia nangu ni Congo. Kwa libabe na Zambia. So if you want that yo mkwai kwango malala nangu kuka kelo teti ututwa wakose shogu ikalo iyo vena Zambia no kuvota kuti vavota no kuvota vala vota. What should be your strategy? Campaign. Epela. That's why all those Malawans these Malawans have their Malawan rage. In fact, Congo is even better. Malawi, it was worse. Imwe abena Malawi, baingira. Abena Malawi, they've been entering Zambia since 1963, or if it's 1960, without stress. Elo nakamana bena takwaba. Without stress. You can't trace it. Elo kumalawi na kokwini na reji takwali. Malawans never had their own national identity card in Malawi. It only came, 3 years ago? Elo kwa reji kumalawi takwali. So when Kaunda is creating a marriage in Zambia in 1965, the NRC Act of 1965, Malawans have had no NRCs since their independence until 3 years ago, when they had their NRCs. So what you couldn't prove who is a Malawan and who is not a Malawan. So they get the green national registration card. So nombo kuisa mukukosha sana mulomo. That's just about it. You can't even say that it's the issue of national security. Which national security? What national security problems does a Malawian pose in Zambia? Malawi. They've been presidents, vice presidents, they've been ministers. Don't quote me on that, but twalyumfwa. Okweba ati nabo bene kwali bako kalya link. So if you are in opposition, kuko safye wayamuko chita campaign mu Malawi. Yeah, how Monday. So you just have to be strong and campaign, because where is that going to take you? Nowhere. Because those people can just tell you they are Zambian. No, which to prove that they are Zambian. What are you going to do? Hello, ECZ cannot object. If you go to ECZ with a green national registration card, ECZ is obligated to register you. ECZ cannot object at your taulemoneka wino. No. Muntu ulemoneka what mu Chinese. Ngatwala green national registration card to an ECZ officer. Amupela. That ECZ officer is obligated to register such a person. ECZ cannot begin inquiring into somebody's citizenship. No. It has no locus standi to object. The state can object. Zambian immigration. Kuti yaya kana tiyo mkwayo to register suspect. No, but the Zambian immigration in they register object. Nishmuina Zambia. Forget it. Just go and campaign in Malawi. So in 2021, it's not going to be different from what happened in 2016. Just go and campaign. Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania, na Congo. Go and campaign. Send all the campaign posters. Imagine. Kuka kelo na kwango malala. Campaign posters. So if you are taking campaign posters in Milenge, kutuwala na kuka kelo na kwango malala. You take campaign posters there. And you appoint campaign managers. Congo. You appoint campaign managers. Kainge it's part of Zambia. Nangopamo kambo. Kwali uko ilishani ati yo pamo kambo shani. Na popene pamo kambo. Pena Zambia. Babururu shandi nebo. Baba pamo kambo. Elo mukana ati yo tebena Zambia. Yo, they are entitled to vote. Iwe ngolefo uko iminina. Kuwe mkuchita campaign. Pabena mokambo. Waya chita campaign. Yeah, how Monday. Anyway, we've already done an hour. Yeah. Philip Chisha, Dr. Nevas Mumbaleje as President General and Honorable Malanji both refused to intervene. This is sad. Extremely sad. Evarechta insists that they are fathers of the nation. Father of the nation, Nevas Mumbabaikata, he refuses to intervene. Father of the nation, kanofiewe na chireba wa minama none. Wafi. Anyway, I think we've got to end here because I'm still under quarantine. Don't worry, a little bit out of place. But we're going to come back later, okay? Thank you very much for staying with me today. God bless you and God bless our country. Thank you.